This is Patrick MontesDeOca with the Equity Management Academy live trading room, streaming live in YouTube. We're going to jump right into the gold market trading last at 1791 bid at 1791 and a half, roughly about 1792. We've had a pretty volatile morning with the market trading below the average price. Actually below the buy two level, as you can see. And we have recommended our subscribers in our private trading room basically to cover any short positions, any strategies, any short strategies, and hold on to any position that you might have bought earlier in maintaining the core position on the long side. We had an early signal this morning, which has been pretty choppy here into this buy two area daily. And what we see here is a little bit of a conflicting signal between the weekly sell one level at 1796 and the buy two level at 1797 daily. And I think this is reflected pretty much in the way that it's trading at this level here at B2. $17.84 is the weekly target, and there is a possibility now that the weekly signal obviously is in this momentum, but the daily at 1797 is extremely oversold. So this is an interesting combination of daily and weekly signals, given the opposite signal, basically conflicting signal. And so the market seems to be adjusting, and how we take a look at this relationship is basically in two ways. Either the market is going to come down to complete the weekly pattern of 1784, or the daily B2 level is extremely oversold, and we want to see the supply and demand at these levels here and see if there is more supply that is going to come in that's going to drive the price down to 1784, or there is basically less sellers down here and we begin to see buyers at a higher level. So this is a very good lesson in terms of identifying the relationship of the daily signal with the weekly signal. Let's take a look at silver here. Pretty much silver has completed actually the weekly target, as you can see, of 2367. Excuse me, the daily target has been completed, and here again the silver as well is in a conflicting position between the daily numbers and the weekly numbers. It appears the market is reacting basically from the daily average on the short side, came down pretty close to completing the target and reverted. While the price also at 2367 is the support on the weekly signal, And if we close below 2367, we're going to get an activation on the weekly, and you're looking at the daily at 2363. So it's a conversion of cycles that are trying to identify the next direction of the market. It appears that we are basically looking at a stronger signal in the gold market for now, based on this current interpretation of the VCPMI. When the price is below the B2 level, the daily program goes neutral. And then we connect to the weekly signals. And I believe that's what we're looking at in silver and gold right now. So look for buyers to come in at these levels here. We want to see some green bars revert as the market is in an extremely oversold condition daily and pretty close to the weekly target of 1784. With a low of 8670. So let's allow for the energy of the market here to identify and confirm what we want to see here based on the direction of the VCPMI, and that is that we should see some green bars, some buyers come into the market. We want to see that so that it will increase and validate once again the intelligence of the variable changing price momentum indicator. Let's take a look at some digital assets here. GDLC continues to move higher and make new highs, 53. And we're looking at a 53.28 target of the sell one level weekly so far this week. So let's see how the market reacts to there. But 53.28 is the next target for GDLC. GBTC is down about 82 points, 38,000 to 25. I'm sorry, 38.25 is the last trade on GBTC. That's down from about 41.18 that we made yesterday, which coincided, by the way, as you can see here, with the weekly targets. And now we've come down here after activating a short trigger by closing below it, the target of 38.13. Coinbase is trading last at 257, down about a 1.92, 1.77, slightly lower here. Again, with the targets completed, it seems yesterday, very close to the sell one weekly level of 269. 268 was the high. That's pretty close. And it satisfies the criteria Let's just keep an eye on the market here. What I would like to do on this section is to review the weekly reports that we posted on Seeking Alpha for our private subscribers and see what the market has done since. On August 20th, 21, the gold weekly report basically um, stated that the weekly trend momentum of 1784 is bearish. The weekly trend momentum of 1784 is the 9-week moving average that we use as a filter to identify the trend momentum of the market. And in this case, coming into this week, the trend momentum was bearish. So it gave us an idea that as we come in this week, we have a bearish sentiment, a bearish trend momentum. The second filter is the weekly VCPMI, which is 1784, which is also in a bearish price momentum. The second filter is the mean or the average price that we use to extrapolate the extremes above or below. In this case, coming into this week, we came in with a bearish price momentum. This is the second filter. The first filter is the trend momentum. The second filter is the price momentum. And when the price is bearish in the VCPMI price momentum indicator, it identifies automatically the levels below as targets. And in this case, the 1771 to 1759 are the targets for the remainder of the week if the market stays below 1784. Now, the artificial intelligence tells you that even though we're coming in this week with a bearish trend momentum and a bearish price momentum, it also tells you that if we close above 1784, stop. It negates this bearishness neutral. And this is the protective level that the AI on the report identifies for you when the market is going to neutralize the previous trend, and by closing above from below on the second close will activate a bullish price momentum. So it gives us a very clear direction. The AI basically is the simplified version of the C++ easy language that is basically written or coded in TradeStation. And for myself, what I do basically is I reverse engineer the intelligence, and as you can see here, I put it into a way that I can execute myself and understand pretty much the extreme levels above or below the market when it gives us those indications. So here the uh, AI is telling us that on the third filter that we use, which is the weekly price indicator. The price indicator is the targets that are produced based upon the market trading from the average price or the mean. And by trading above 1784, it activated a bullish price momentum, and the targets of 1796 to 1810 were basically advised as targets as we came into this week. Let's take a look and see pretty much what the market has done since. As you can see, the market, after making a high of 1812, completing pretty much pretty close to the weekly targets of 1810, it completed the pattern. It met the targets. And this coincided with the daily number of 1811. So here is where the market reverted, completed the pattern. It, in fact, a couple of times, it traded several times, traded above here, and after making a high of 1812, it reverted and closed below. This was the trigger point that we recommended to unload or to lock in profits here in our private trading room. But the information published in Marketplace provided you with this data, with this intelligence. And as you can see here, it activated a short trigger, and automatically the levels below now on the weekly were completed and reverted back down, and activating obviously the target, which is the sell one level that we're trading right now of 1796. The market, it came down below 1796, and here's the conflicting picture basically between the weekly and the daily numbers that were at about 1797, and the weekly short completed the signal, the trigger point, and activated the target of 1784. So it is in a weekly bearish pattern as uh, directed by the AI, basically by the robo advisor, which we follow. And it's sitting now basically in this area of an oversold condition daily and in a bearish weekly pattern that is basically unfolding as we speak. Bitcoin is in a conflicting level again, very similar to the metals here. They seem to be pretty much in the same pattern where it's a buy signal daily and a pattern was completed, the target was completed on the average, and it has activated uh, a bullish trend momentum and a buy trigger on the buy one level here as we speak. So um, I think we want to take a look at buying buying Bitcoin here. Looks like it has reversed as we speak. We're catching a signal, a live signal. Want to buy Bitcoin at the market? Buy Bitcoin at the market.
Order filled.
We're long a Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. So we're getting a lot of support here, it seems, on digital assets, and we continue to look for much higher prices here on digital assets, Bitcoin. And once again, I want to warn everybody: this is a very fast market. The volatility is unlike anything else in the commodity markets. So please use the risk management accordingly. But what we're doing here is obviously for Bitcoin, we're jumping into GBTC, which is something that we can hold overnight and carry the position with a margin. It's cash on cash basis. Um, you paid for, don't leverage these instruments. You don't need to leverage these instruments to buy them, and just hold until the targets, complete themselves. So this is the way that I'm using the VCPMI for digital assets. Basically, is trading the market from a technical point of view using the variable changing price momentum indicator, as you can see. The other asset again is GDLC, which is on fire, trading with a high of 53, and this is an asset that essentially is the fund for the digital cryptos, and it looks like the market is about to test that 62,000 level here, or 62 level here, pretty soon. And we've been trading. We were at 18 just back in June 22nd. So this is the kind of asset that you want to buy and hold, as I believe these assets are just in the beginning of an incredible move here. Look at this beautiful rounding bottom that it's making. So it's pretty exciting to own these assets, particularly with the volatility that we can trade successfully, very accurately, again, by applying the VCPMI. Back in the gold market here, um, seems to be some more supply that needs to be traded at these levels here. So we're going to continue to watch our position, hold our position, and look to add on a close above 1797 with a target on the weekly at 1784. This is where, depending upon what the market does here, we want to see a reversion unfold. Just to share this last thought, in my opinion, is basically that you want to use the strategy from here on looking to buy corrections. I think all the surprises are going to be to the upside, even though we may get end of the month squaring into this end of the month. If we do get some kind of pressure supply manipulation is a better word, I think that is going to provide for a major buying opportunity again to add to the long side of the market. The shares that we're looking at, the aggressive 2 to 1 velocity is Nugget in precious metals. And we're looking at GDX, which basically is the gold miners. And they all seem to be in the average price, completing the targets of the average price. So what I'm expecting basically is the completion of these patterns and cycles anytime, and I am looking for a rally from these levels here. All surprises are going to be to the upside. Um, and obviously, we're going to be subject to Friday's Jackson Hole meeting, which is going to bring us tremendous volatility. But I would say to you that any correction in this market should be bought long term. Thank you again, everybody, for the opportunity to share this with you, and have yourself a great trading day. Be safe. I'll talk to you next time.